What's up, Brooklyn Squad? How's everybody doing? I hope y'all doing okay, because not everybody is. We got another missing case to talk about. We have a young girl who was 12 years old when she went missing. Okay, she is 13 years old now, but when she went missing, she was 12 years old. Her name was Laura Paige. All right, I was asked to cover this case, and when I'm asked to cover a case, I do my best to make that happen. Now, this case is bizarre because I just found out some other stuff, and I'm glad that I went searching for some information like I always do, right? But this time I went searching and I have found a woman talking about this case, right? First, I heard Nancy Grace, and then I was like, all right, we was gonna do the Nancy Grace video together. But then I heard another content creator that I've never saw before talk about this case, and I want to tell y'all a little bit. And no matter of fact, I'm gonna show y'all what she said, because it would just give you guys a little more understanding, right? So Laura Paige from Tassajao. Let's pull it up, y'all. Let's pull it up. Tassajao, Florida. Went missing 2023 of June. Let me put my glasses up for this one. Now, there is a $15,000 reward for this young girl's return. Okay. The FBI announced on a Tuesday that the agency is offering a $15,000 reward for information that leads to the whereabouts of Laura Paige, a 12-year-old girl who has been missing from Tassajao, Florida since June 3rd of last year. The FBI will stop for nothing to protect the kids and will fully come in to help any other parents and anyone else who needs help. Now, let me tell you something about this story that I know. This 12-year-old's father is a correctional officer, so he works nights, okay? When he came home, the little girl was gone, period. That's all you know about her. And the family isn't help looking for her. But I just found out that the mother did do a live on her own platform. And we're going to check that out on another content creators live, because I just found out that a minute ago. Now, when I saw Nancy Grace's video last night, I was going to do the video with you. Like, I was going to upload the video and put it out there. But then I said, something told me not to do that. Do a little more. Just hold off for that one. Because Nancy Grace was, you know, she didn't want to blame. We don't blame the families, you know, and she was very percent that the father had nothing to do with this. The family and the family have nothing to do with this. And this definitely could have been someone that she knew or a stranger or something, but she was very persistent. But now me finding out that the family is not even helping, looking for the search. And we don't blame family. We don't. But we look at everything. And when you have strangers looking for your child and not you, I don't know. But let's see what happened. Let's see what this says. Let's get into it. So I'm going to put this lady's link down below. I don't know her, but I always put people's links that I'm, you know, showing their video of. Her name is Patty Playhouse. Okay? Well, Patty Playhouse got some stuff to say now. Now, the person that asked me to do this young girl's video was from the interview that I had the other day with Jason. It was his people's. Okay. So, yeah, let's get into this. Okay.
And Lori Paige is a missing girl. And she went missing June 3rd. June 3rd.
2020.
Last year, unfortunately.
Yep. She just had a birthday.
This is her.
So she would be 13 now. Because...
So she's a 12-year-old who went missing. Her father went to work, supposedly. Actually, not supposedly. He went to work. He was a corrections officer in Jefferson County.
Mm-hmm.
And Lori, when he got home the next morning, was not home. She was home by herself. So I researched a little bit about the father. He was living in a 1-bedroom, 1-bath townhome on Continental Court in the northwest section of Tallahassee.
He just became, he just knew at this. He just got
few civilians went out on Saturday with the help of Tallahassee Police Department and conducted our own little search, door to door, handing out flyers, talking to residents of the area. Well, today we learned a couple things. Tallahassee Police Department, with the help of Leon County Sheriff's Department, actually went out and did their own search in a lake nearby. So they found some photos, which I don't know if I can bring up. See, how can I do this without...
That's the mother with the brown lipstick right here.
Why did we get internet from this cell phone company?
Hold on, y'all.
So LCSO was conducting a dive search at the San Luis Park where we were, and Hey True Lifestyles, and they had divers in this lake, which is a beautiful park. It really is a little jewel in Leon County. It's absolutely beautiful. And it's acres of park, and it has 2 lakes in it, and they were out diving today. They started early, and it was a follower and member of Living Tallahassee that sent me these photos. And I was kind of taken aback. I was like, oh my God, did they get a tip that she could be in this lake? And the sad part about this is that, Rombo, is that she's been missing since June, and her parents aren't searching for her.
That's the problem.
Her parents are not searching for her. Right. And for the last 3 days, I've been kind of going back and forth about pressuring the father. Should we not pressure the father? Nancy Grace did an episode on her podcast about the child missing, and she was very careful to not slam the parents.
Right.
And okay, well, where are the parents?
Where are the parents?
I mean, we have 3 strangers, primarily a woman named Maggie or Margie Summers. I call her Maggie. She goes by Margie in public. Margie Summers, and then Pastor Rudy Ferguson. But there's no one searching for this child.
Right.
She is a 12-year-old child. And no one is searching for this child. Nobody. Other than strangers, and we really don't have any rights to know. So when I notified Pastor Ferguson today and said I got word that there was a search,
and teachers, the teachers are searching for her, the community is searching for her, Facebook organizations, content creators are putting out stuff, but the parents are not searching. And that is the problem right there. So when people say, don't bash the parents, don't talk about the parents, don't say the parents, don't do this with the parents. Well, when the parents aren't looking for their child, it's kind of hard to not say a few things about the parents. You know what I mean?
We'll see. Leon County Sheriff's Department is doing a search. And he goes, well, why didn't they tell me? I said, sir, we're not family. Right. We're not eligible to be told.
Right.
And he's like, well, I'm going to find out. So luckily, but not luckily, and luckily in a lot of ways, they found nothing. However, where is Lori Paige?
Right.
Where is Lori Paige? She is a 12-year-old girl. Where is Lori Paige?
Now, at that time, she was 12.
This is her mother. Now. And I'm going to start at the beginning. And this is her own personal page. This is not her real name. She uses a different name on Facebook. And I'm going to play it for you. I shared the sound, so you should be okay. And I'm going to start it. And I'll stop it when I think it's relevant. I've watched it twice now. Wait, she's waiting for people to come listen
to the media. What do you want me to say? If you really want to know what I have to say, it's all been recorded. It's all been recorded for everybody to see. I don't want to come and talk to you on your platform. I want to talk on my platform. I didn't ask Miss Nancy Grace to come speak on my platform. She didn't ask me to speak on hers. So we're gonna do we do the things that we feel that we want to do. So if I don't want to speak to the media, I don't have to do that. And if I were, let's just play the what if game. If I were, what do you want me to say? Because I don't have any information. I don't have anything to tell you. I don't know what happened. The situation, because it made it on certain occasions, it made it sound like I just left, like I just abandoned her at her dad's house. First of all, Lori explicitly has stated over and over and over that she wants to live with her dad.
Okay.
Ever since she started kind of hitting puberty, and this is a very normal psychological phenomenon that we see consistently in children, and let me speak on that. I speak in numbers and facts and statistics and things like that because I'm a scientist. I have a master's degree in science. I do science all day long. My title is student doctor. So there's a whole...
She is a med student at an HBCU school, medical college in Nashville, Tennessee. She is... I don't know what year she's in, but she went to USF. She's from here. She went to University of South Florida, graduated with honors. She got pregnant at 18, which she'll talk about, but she is at an HBCU medical college in Nashville, basically paying her own way, and she is not leaving. She is not leaving school to find her child.
Woo!
So I'll just turn it back on.
A way to present things. You can't go in and be presenting something with your emotions inside of it, right? Because if the doctor comes in the room and they are wailing and crying on the floor, it's going to be a bad day for everybody. It's not going to be good. So I have to hold my composure. So Lori had been stating that she wants to live with her dad. I run a very, very no nonsense household. Just as you see me now, the same way that I sit and I speak on this camera is the same way that I speak. So I'm the same person all the time. I'm the same person all the time. And some people like me and some people don't. And I personally don't care. I don't care. You liking me doesn't get me closer to my goal. It doesn't pay no bill. I don't care. And this is where I'm different than a lot of people. Y'all care about shit that don't matter. On the podcast that I just finished listening to, they're psychoanalyzing. Well, why would she? Well, well, what would make her? And Nancy Grace is like, I don't want to psychoanalyze her. I want to know where she's at.
Right, basically.
Like, let's. This is not about me. This is not about me. But if we're going to speak on events that precipitated the missing of Lori, we can speak on that. So she had explicitly stated that she had been wanting to live with her dad. I have had Lori since the day she was born. I had Lori very, very early. And I've been in school Lori's entire life. So that is what she sees. That is what she sees. And that is the behavior that she emulates. I am hard on myself. I'm a perfectionist. I try to teach her to give herself grace because that's something that I had to learn at my big age. But as I work on reframing my mindset, I give her the jewels that I come across, but I cannot give you what I don't have. So this is what she stated. She stated she wanted to live with her dad. This wasn't my favorite thing. Of course I want her with me. Of course I want her with me because if she's with me, then I know where she's at. I worked in childcare for 15 years. Okay, like I don't have no problem keeping her. It's not that I just dropped her off. He said, and not to mention, I should be able to leave my child with her father. I should be able.
Yes, you should. You should be able to leave your child with her dad. That's not the problem. The problem is your child is missing right now. And allegedly you are the father are not looking for your child. That's the problem.
Able to do that, right? Like just like I have legal rights and responsibilities, so does he.
I'm trying to figure out something because you can see in the back window, there's a sticker on the car. This is not her car. She explains later that her vehicle is in the shop. She is 30 years old. She is 30 years old.
She's young too.
He has legal rights and responsibilities. I am the custodial parent. What that means is that we have 50-50 custody, but I have the final say. And so whenever
you can't have the final say when you don't have the child.
Right.
So there was something, I know they have 50-50 custody. Oh, yeah. I was making sure I wasn't muted. I know they have 50-50 custody. I know that she ended up dropping her off because she'll go into it about financial aid. So she dropped the child off. From what my source says, with very little clothing or anything with her, she just dropped her off. He was like, okay. Well, he works night shift as a correction officer. So you can't just switch your shift when you're a correction officer because you have to have seniority to move up shifts. I worked night shift for a very long time as a nurse, and I'm very aware of how that works. I verified with my son that was accurate information. School is extremely important to this woman. Unlike anything I've ever, like I went to school. I was pregnant and went to school, but I had to go to school and then I had to give birth and then I went back to school. Like it just didn't make sense. I was pregnant with Alex, my middle, and I finished, but I don't understand. Anyway, so that's the backstory. She did drop her off with very little clothing.
They were bringing up the idea that that's where she wanted to stay. I didn't like it. I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And Lori understands that she can come and say anything to me. You can say what you say is how you say it. And so respectfully, she very articulately explained the reasons that she wanted to be with her dad at this, because she presented to me, and her dad was perfectly happy to get her. He was perfect. Yes. I feel like I have missed out on a lot of her life. I want to get her. So for a couple of years we did pertinent information. I don't live in Tallahassee. I live 500 miles away. So if she wants to be with him and he is willing to keep her, and she has presented to me logical reasons as to why this is what she wants to do, I'm going to hear her out. My child is 12 years old, and she's very, very smart. She's been taught autonomy and being able to make decisions and understanding that things have consequences and all these different things like that. She's not perfect at it because she's 12. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not perfect at it, and I'm 30. So if this is a decision and this is something that she wants to do,
somebody said, just
okay,
like Adam
well,
Montgomery said Harmony to her mother. Yeah. Just somebody in the comments said, just like Adam Montgomery sent Harmony to her mother.
Let's try. You get her for the winter break. No issue. All right, you get her for the summer. No issue. And then when all of this happened, she was down there for winter break with her dad. Now at this point, this is normal, right? This is normal. We've established a pattern, right? Because thinking like a doctor is pattern recognition, and they're going to say that until I turn blue in the face. It's pattern recognition. So he's had her, he's kept her, I've picked her up. It's been fine. She had a great time with her dad.
She is muted. She doesn't know she's muted.
Yeah. Myself and her father are totally different parents. We're totally different parents. He's the fun parent, which...
Thank you for telling me I was muted. So I was just saying people worry about their dogs and their cats more in this town. This is a very animal-friendly community than she worries about this child.
Good for him. My phone is blowing up, so I'm trying to keep up with mind you, I'm at work today. I'm at work.
Okay, so that's why she's
in the winter break that she was down there. We were going into the new semester, and going into the semester, something went wrong with my financial aid at school. I'm a graduate student. I'm in graduate school. I have 2 degrees. I'm working on my 3rd one. Okay. So, and it's not cheap. It's not cheap. The cost of attendance, it costs 6 figures to go to this school every single year. And so.
Okay.
We have no idea. The police don't know if there was foul play. Originally said they didn't suspect foul play because she had run away prior. She had run away 4 weeks prior because she did not want to return to her mother's. And this is what I'm told. So it's 2 people removed, okay? So the other person that's helping Margie's the one sharing this information with me. And that she said she did not want to return to her mother.
So, and I can't work, right? Because I need to study 80 hours out the week. So
that bothers me a little bit by her not working, but saying that she makes her school is very expensive. And again, I'm not accusing, please, but we have seen cases like this that parents, I'm gonna keep it real, they traffic their damn kids, man. They sell their kids. On this channel, we keep it real. If you can't take the realness, don't come on my platform, please. Please. Let's not act like, and that's the problem, because a lot of people cover up shit and don't speak real shit and want to piggy around the thumbnail with it. No, keep the realness, man. Let's be honest. Parents, people do traffic their fucking kids. It happens. It happens. Not saying she did it or her husband or her baby father did it. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, I don't put it past Nobody. It can be done, and it has happened before on many cases I've worked, or many cases that we've seen.
When whatever went wrong with my financial aid, it caused, because I use that money to give you the financial aid because you can't work. So you use the financial aid to pay for your room and board, etc. And when it went wrong, I did not get any money back in January at all. I didn't get any money back. And then they said I owed them money. Which again, we're talking in the 5 and 6 figures. This is not a little bit amount of money. So whenever this happened and I couldn't pay the rent, and she was already in Florida with her dad, logically speaking, if I'm about to get put out because I cannot pay my rent because something got messed up that was outside of my control, yes, I can come get my child on the date that we agreed upon. I can come get her. But I'm working on stable housing. So while you have stable housing, can you just keep her? Can you keep her? You can't hear me. You can't hear me. Okay, you can. Okay, perfect. While you have stable housing, just keep her. Is that okay? Is that fine? If it's not fine, let me know. To which he said, well, I wish you would have asked me this earlier. That's a fair.
The school she's at is an HBCU school. Hold on, let me get the name. HBCU med school. Meharry. The name of it is Meharry. Meharry.
Fair response. I would have asked him earlier if I would have known earlier, but I cannot tell you what I don't know. I didn't know this was going to happen. I have paid my rent on time for 10 years.
Someone says it sounds like she pawned her child for cash.
And the one time that we hit January 3rd, you got a red letter on my door. So now I'm up here scrambling, trying to figure out how I'm going to get my money, how I'm going to get these classes paid for, how I'm going to eat. And so, no, I'm not going to, if my child is already okay, if she's already in Tallahassee with her dad and she's okay, then I'm going to leave her there. Why would I disrupt her peace? Why would I take away her stability to come be with me? I'm not that selfish. Like, that doesn't make sense. It's not logical. I've slept in my car before. I'm not going to do that if there's a resource or something available so that my child does not have to go through that. She's 12 years old. I made the decision to go to grad school. I can be responsible for myself. That's totally fine. I can be responsible. I was responsible for Lori for 11 years. And when y'all sit here and say, oh, she was such a good student, there was never a behavior problem. Like, Lori is an amazing kid. I know she didn't get that from out of thin air. I taught myself how to be the best parent I could possibly be. And it's not perfect. It's not perfect. But I didn't have a mom. The mom I did have was a horrible person. Absolutely horrible person. And as soon as I ran away from her house too. She's a terrible person. And the things that she does, she just hasn't got caught, but it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah. Her mother appears to be a devoted grandmother in this woman's own Facebook. And at some point, there was a rift and the grandmother just said, I'm done. And from what I gather, she accused the grandmother, which she'll go on to say a variety of things. And the grandmother's like, I'm just not putting myself out there. So I believe that's how that occurred.
Oh, no. What happened, y'all?
Her mother appears to be a devoted grandmother in this woman's own Facebook. And at some point, there was a rift, and the grandmother just said, "I'm done." And from what I gather, she accused the grandmother, which she'll go on to say a variety of things. And the grandmother's like, "I'm just not putting myself out there." So I believe that's how that occurred.
It's all going to come out. I can sit here and speak about the trafficking in Tallahassee because I know firsthand. I was a child in that situation. So I'm not just making up. I don't just make these things up. So, no.
So you will want to be
thrilled about her being with her dad. And then
so you will want to be more concerned about your daughter if you know there's big trafficking going on in that city that she's in. You just said it yourself, sis, about the trafficking that goes on there. So you should be more concerned. I would have left my school and went and got by and looked for my child. But would you have you done that? Leave in the comments down below what you have done. Would you stayed in school and let the community look for your child and the strangers of us look for your child? Or what if you got your eyes out of school and look for your damn child? Put in the comments down below what the hell you think. This is crazy.
At one point, I'm distraught. Okay. I'm having this reaction. I get off the phone with him because he don't have no answers for me. So we don't need to be on the phone. And I'm just, I was horrified. I think the feeling that in that moment was horrified. My child is nowhere to be found. And I am 500 miles away. What am I supposed to do? This isn't in the parenting handbook. This isn't in the handbook. If your kid runs away or goes missing, that I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what the steps are. And when I consistently reached out to TPD, the way that I have been treated by the Tallahassee Police Department is disgusting. It's disgusting.
Who reported the little girl missing? That's what I want to know. Because she lives with her father.
So I'm making phone calls, this is happening in my school. I'm in my school amongst all these professionals. And I'm just like, I'm sitting crisscross applesauce on the floor. Because I have anxiety, even before, from forever ago. I have anxiety. So I'm sitting crisscross applesauce on the floor because my worst nightmare is playing out in front of me. And I'm not sure. I'm waiting to wake up, right? I'm waiting to wake up because this is not real life. I've had enough nightmares to know maybe this is one of them. So I call her dad. When I call her dad, he's going off on me. And so just how you see,
she's missing the fact that he's going off on her because she showed up on June 2nd, causing a scene. And from what I know about Lori Paige is she was a very quiet girl, very studious, very calm. She didn't want a lot of chaos. She didn't want chaos going on. She did not want chaos. So she went missing sometime over that night of June 3rd, and she was reported missing on June 3rd. She is still 12 years old. She turned 12 in April. So she would just turn 12 when she walked out into the night, never to be heard from again. Does anyone know which store, car rental place wears that gray shirt? She says she's at work. Who has this gray uniform? This plain gray uniform? Anybody? Does anyone know? I'm dying to figure out where she works.
That's just like a plain.
Because she's at work and there's a sticker on her car window, and this is not her car. It's like she's hanging around in a car dealership.
So the things that she's, she's not making no, because I'm going to find it. I'm going to find it. Apparently he does have one other kid that is about a year older than Lori. I've never met this. She ever heard the door open. She would have been on it. And we lived in the back of the apartment complex at the top. So it's a lot of obstacles. You're not going anywhere. And yeah, that may sound a certain way, but I didn't lose her. So
this woman is more worried about who lost her than where the child is.
Now he's getting mad at me because I'm asking, what measures are you going to put in place so that this doesn't happen again? I have rearranged the furniture to put very big, heavy things in front of my door. I will do whatever I have to do to contain Lori. Because that's what I'm supposed to do. He sent me a picture of her. This is on a different occasion. And her face is just swole.
Oh, Lord.
Now, nothing has happened to her that I've ever seen that her face does this. So I'm like, oh my God, like what happened to, like, I'm mad, right? I'm mad because immediately somebody done punched my child in the face, right? Like, I'm hot. I said, Lori, what happened? She said, well, I did something I wasn't supposed to do on my computer, got caught, and basically she got scared and she went to run out the door. When she went to run out the door, she tripped. And when she tripped, she hit her face on the door frame. This makes sense to me. This sounds like Lori, right? This sounds like Lori. She also had congruent scrapes on her knees and elbows. So this is not, you know what I mean, unreasonable. At the same time, mind you, at the same time, as I'm in school, as I am in medical school, I get into an awful car accident. That lady almost freaking killed me. And I had to have surgery. In the middle of the semester, I had surgery. And still did what I needed to do. So that's the type of person I am. If there's an obstacle, I'm going to overcome it. And so because I had recently had surgery on my jaw, it was
okay. Wait a minute. This is becoming all about her. Where is your fucking daughter? I just can't. I don't even want to sit here and look at no more. Where's your child? You had surgery with this, and then they had this. Where's your child? Why aren't you looking for your child? All of this. Come on now. Something's not right. What's going on here?
It was very swollen. And, her face was very swollen. So as I'm asking what happened to her, she's asking what happened to me. So now I got to explain, I was in a car accident, whole time, even in that, before we even got to the conclusion of the surgery, I was misdiagnosed with cancer. So I'm also thinking like, I'm fucking dying. Like, great, I'm dying. Like, so she runs away. She comes back. I'm not getting my questions answered. Okay. She's okay. That's what I tell myself. I tell myself she's okay. She's okay. And if she's okay, I'm okay. Because I'm sure he doesn't agree with my parenting. But again, what I do in my house is my business. So I got to apply that same Lori does not like to get in trouble. Lori does not. Lori is a very, very good kid, and she does not like to get in trouble. She doesn't like to be yelled at. She doesn't like to feel bad, like she did something. Like she doesn't like. Lori has this preoccupation of thinking or like that she feels like she's a bad kid, and she's not a bad kid. And everybody that knows Lori knows she's not a bad kid. So if she does something bad, she hasn't gotten to the point where she can understand that I can separate the behavior from the character, right? So she did a bad behavior and she got caught, and that's a normal response for her, right? If you have fight, flight, freeze, and fawn, she's flight. That's her, like that's what she's gonna do. Like if she don't want the confrontation, she's gonna run away and hide and make herself small. So I think that's exactly what happened. She knew that she had did something wrong, and she knew she was caught. And so, because that's a pattern, Lori's done that before.
Miss Wee has to wee, so she needs a bathroom break. So he went to work on the night of June 2nd. She shows up on June 2nd. Throws a fit with the daughter. There's a big hullabaloo. TPD's called out. Everything calms down when she leaves. He goes to work. And then he comes home. She's gone. No one believes for a second that this woman took her daughter back to Nashville. No one believes it. She only wants to be in med school. So school is extremely important to her. And having been in nursing school, as a couple of you have been in, it is very hard. The staff are not easy on you. To be a nurse or to be in the medical field is not a dreamboat. It is very challenging. And I can't imagine myself having want to be a doctor to begin with, because it's basically could be a crap job. But regardless, she wanted to be a child since a young age, and nothing's stopping her from going to med school. Let's just put it that way.
Serious. That wasn't supposed to leave came back. And they were like, how? It doesn't, we have to go through this, but it doesn't make sense that you came up here to be rowdy. Like, you explained everything to us. It made sense. Like, this doesn't seem like, this seems incongruent, but just
that's a dealer sticker on her car window. I have to read
you your Miranda rights. Read me my Miranda right.
So this is a car dealer sticker on her window. So she might work at a car dealer shop, guys.
Read me my Miranda rights? Okay. You had a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
What's she talking about?
You had a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided to you. Do you understand these rights as they have been read to you? I do, and I don't want to talk to you. Because you just said everything I say to you, you're going to use against me. So it doesn't matter what I say, you're going to use it against me. And so now she's trying to, oh, well, what school do you go to? I'm not talking to you. Like, I'm not trying to be rude. Like, I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm exercising my Miranda right. You just told me. Like, am I fixing to get arrested? Like, am I fixing to get arrested? Did I drive 500 miles to check on my child to get the police called on me to get me arrested? When all he had to do was pick up the phone? You're kidding. You're kidding. So now it's like, okay, all right. I don't have nothing to say. So they do whatever investigation they're going to do. And he knew it was being recorded. And I guess he told them that. And she came and she asked me, well, can I have the video? No, the fuck you cannot, because you just said it can and it will be used against me. And I know I didn't do anything wrong.
What video is she talking about?
Right.
Did I miss something?
I'm confused.
What video?
When he asked me to leave, I left. I cannot go. I cannot commit no crimes. You understand what I'm saying? I'm in professional school.
What is she talking about? Child, where's your damn daughter?
This is my whole life's work. And you think that I'm just gonna throw it away because to get in an argument with you? Come on now, let's be kind of serious. Let's be kind of for real. And I knew that she wanted to be there and that he wanted to keep her because, and one day prior to this incident, one day he got frustrated with me and he said, come pick her up. I said, say no more. And when they realized that I was coming to pick her up, they begged me. They said, no, like, please, I'm going to keep her. Like, it's not that I want you to get her. I said, no. I'm going to come pick her up because you're not going to use this car every time you get mad at me because I'm in professional school and I don't have time to drive 500 miles just because you get mad with me. If you're going to keep her, keep her. If you're not, give her back. This is not hard. So when you say come get her, I'm going to come get her. When they call me at the school and they say come pick her up, I go pick her up. When they call me at the summer camp and they say come get her, I come get her because one thing about me, I will go get her. I will get my child. I don't have no problem getting my child. And I had this child her whole life. So if you do not want her, far be it from me to leave her where she is unwanted because she is very wanted in certain circles. Very wanted, very loved, very appreciated. And so as it turns out, he really didn't feel like that. He was saying that because he was upset. So I'm like, okay. And at that point, I did not go get her. Hindsight being 2020, I should have went and got her because if I had her, she wouldn't be missing. But that's what she said she wanted to do. He's willing to keep. I'm really trying to rationalize my way through this because I'm having an emotion, and emotions they're not going to get you anywhere. You have to logically think through things. So that I'm really trying to weigh my pros and cons. I prayed about it, all this other type of stuff. Did not go get her. I did not go get her. She didn't want to come with me. He didn't want her to come with me. So I didn't go get her.
Yeah.
The following Saturday, not the following Saturday from when he said that, the following Saturday from when she was found, I'm in Dollar General getting my 5 off 25. As per usual, I'm out of school, I got tired and slept in. I know I failed this test, but that's a problem for another day. I'm in Dollar General getting my 5 off 25. I get a phone call from an 850 number. I said, no, I don't want that. I'm not answering the phone. Something was like, answer the phone. Something was like, answer the phone, answer the phone. Answer the phone. Hi, this is so-and-so with TPD. We were wondering if you knew where Lori Paige was. And in that moment, the decorum, the professionalism, everything left. I said, what the fuck do you mean? Like, because I'm going to blow my top in here. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? What are you saying to me? What do you mean? Do I know where she's at? I know where she's supposed to be. I know where I left her. I don't know where she's at. Why don't you know where she's at? Like QTNA questions that need answered. Why do you not know where she's at? She's 12. She shouldn't be but one or two places. So no, I do not know where she's at. If I knew where she was at, she wouldn't be lost. And so, and that, because at this point, and I don't already had it with TPD. TPD has already pissed me off twice. Because I've been asking them, and I've been trying to communicate with them. And the first detective that was on the case, baby, the best thing TPD could have did was remove her from that case. She and I did not have a good rapport, and this is not going to be productive because TPD continues to treat me like a criminal. like a suspect. Y'all read me my rights. And now 8 months later, after I done said everything that I said, now that people got to start being held accountable, now it's, oh, well, we searched this. You're sending TPD officers all the way down to Tampa and all down I-10 and all this and that. It's been 8 months. Where was this before? Where was this energy before? Why you wasn't kicking nobody doors in when she went missing? It's been 8 months. 97% of children that go missing for more than 30 days are never found. That means that out of 100 children, 3 of them that go missing for 30 days or more are found. For 30 days. We're talking about 8 months. Mathematically speaking, this is not good. This is not good. You're doing all this effort and it's too late. It's too late. I mean, I'm glad y'all are doing it. Look for her, but this is the energy that I wanted when it happened. Y'all gave Carly Russell more energy over a fake white baby that doesn't even exist. And now you following us around like freaking criminals. I don't have her. If I had her, she wouldn't be lost. You think I choose this emotional distress? You think I choose to waste $100,000?
What y'all thinking?
You think this is what I want?
Because she really got me at that point when she's like, you calling me, asking me where she's at. I left her with her father. Ask him where she's at. I feel her on that. I do feel her on that. I left her with her father. So you ask him where my child is at. Oh, this is some weird shit, man. Wow. But the fact that if she's really not helping to look for her, this don't look good, baby girl. It just don't. It don't look good at all. Unless she knows something already, allegedly. What's going on?
And then y'all gonna turn around, and then you turn around and treat me as though I did something wrong? Cut it out. Cut it out. Which is why I'm not talking to none of y'all. I don't have nothing to say to nobody. Because y'all don't listen to me. This is not a cooperation, because what I'm asking you for, you are not providing me. So what you're asking me for, I am not providing you. And the fact that you feel like entitled to my cooperation is wild. You want me to cooperate now, but y'all wasn't cooperating with me when I was in the police department on 7th Ave, jumping up and down. Now you want me to cooperate? Yeah, because now you got to be accountable. Now you have to be accountable. I don't have to prove no case to you. I don't have to prove to you that I don't have her. I wish I had her.
Just
but I don't have to prove. You can follow me around all day, every day. You can read the phone records. You can do whatever you need to do. But y'all should have been did this. And I don't know what the delay was, but whatever it was, it has potentially cost me the life of my only child. When you say you don't think she ran away, elaborate on that, please. Okay. The reason why I don't feel like she ran away is because in the prior times where Lori has quote unquote run away, she is trying to avoid direct confrontation. Like with the computer, she got caught doing something that she wasn't supposed to do. Boom, she wanted to leave. Right? And when she gets in trouble, that's her flight response. If what y'all are telling me, and I don't even have the whole story, which is what I keep asking TPD for, and they won't give me the story, and they said on Nancy Grace that I was very methodical. Yeah, because I have to go through, I have to piece this together. Aren't you a detective? Detect something. investigate something. So, so I don't feel that she, if the story that you're telling me is that he went to work and she left while he was at work, that is incongruent with the pattern, because the pattern is she gets caught doing something she's not supposed to do. She engages her flight response. If he...
I've watched this, I think 3 full times. And every time I get so upset because she talks to her child or about her child as if she's a lab rat. She talks about her fight, flight, free, fun, as if she's a lab rat. I was 30 and had 3 children. I worked night shift as a nurse. I was married to someone I didn't like. And I never spoke about my children this way. And I don't think any of you have either. Something is wrong here in Denmark, and I don't know what. But here's what I do know, that until we share this and create great pressure for these 2 parents who don't like each other, we get it. No one likes each other, we get it. Don't care. But until there are pressure on the father, the mother, the grandparents, no one will get anything done. We need great pressure on these parents. I'm not labeling the parents. I'm labeling her because she's pissing me off. But the father, I know he's quiet. I know he's introverted. I know that. But him, we can't do it. We are strangers. Have got to advocate for their child. We have watched how many, there's 137 people in this room right now. We're talking millions of hours of true crime have been watched between these 137 people who are looking at me like, why is this woman putting this woman on her live? Because we need help and we need pressure, not on law enforcement. They're doing everything they can. They've done grid searches. They were in a lake today. They've gone. I had an anonymous call to myself on Friday. So they went to that town and started handing out flyers in that town. We need pressure from the 2 parents.
Right. I agree.
To come out and advocate for their child.
Right.
I thought Nancy Grace did a fabulous job because she didn't, of course, she's been sued for it, okay? Back in 07 and 08, she was sued for it because she went on the aggressive to a young mother whose child was missing, and the woman went into, this was Leesburg, Florida, and it was a Trenton case, and she went into the closet and unalived herself. So I know Nancy doesn't want that to happen, and I know she doesn't want a lawsuit to happen. So I know why she's cautious about how she's treating these parents. But the father is the one who is here. So she's not here. She ain't coming back. She's in school. I get it. The father is here. And the father is the one who needs to have pressure put on him to go out and lead a goddamn search for his, yes, Melinda Duckett, thank you. Search for this child.
Right.
And I don't say these things to just say them. I don't want my biological mother to be the big bad guy, right? I want to have a safe space. I want a mom too. But like I said earlier, I didn't have one. So I had to figure it out by myself. And the reason why I didn't have, I had one, like she was there, like she was present, but she was abusive. Let me tell you a story. Before my brain unlocked to the horrors of my childhood, I was completely oblivious to them. And I was having 500 miles away from Tallahassee. I was having a behavior problem. My child, I had did everything I knew how to do. everything I could possibly think of. And, you know, now at this point, I'm taking off work. Like, my boss is getting like, what the fuck? You can't control your kid? And I'm like, you can't control another person. That's not how this works. That's not how I cannot control Lori. If I could control Lori, I would make her appear right here. God himself gave Lori free will. Who am I? Who am I to try to impose? Like, what are you talking about? I cannot control Lori. I can influence the environment. I can try to correct behaviors. Anyway, this is a tangent. So I called my biological mother. This is before I remembered all these bad things. So I call her and I'm like, hey, I don't know what else to do. Can you keep her for just like a week or two? Because she's working from home. This is COVID. Can you just keep her for like a week or two? Let me regather myself to come up with new strategies because my cup is empty. At that point, my cup was empty. Because at that point, I had sought all the psychological resources that I could possibly come up with. Lori had a team of professionals.
I with two other people, her former educator, because she wouldn't be in 6th grade anyway, Margie Summers and Pastor Rudy Ferguson, went out on Saturday with friends of ours, people who follow me, as well as personal friends of mine. Tallahassee Police Department escorted us around so that we weren't alone. You know, we paired off and each group had an officer with us. We hit 650 doors and stores. So we handed out 650 flyers. Wow. She turned her own Chromebook in, by the way, Beach Life. Her home life was not good, obviously. Her father worked night shift.
It's just something else.
If you don't know, here in Florida, corrections officers don't make a lot of money. So his rent was cheap where he was. It could have been that the landlord was increasing the rent. I don't know. The family has never reached out for help from the community.
I'm leaving school. And she's like, oh, you got into the program. Right. And I said, yeah. And this lady out of her mouth says, oh, well, why didn't you tell me? I said, because the last time I told you something, you told me that you called the school and told them not to let me in. So why would I tell you my moves? Like, she was offended. And then she had the nerve to be offended and want to get off the phone with me. Like, why you don't congratulate me? You don't.
This
you
is
don't
more of a
mean me no well. Pay some tuition
than a missing child.
Like, you don't mean well for me.
I'm not done with her. I'm sorry. We only had a little bit more to go. I had to be done with her. This little girl is still missing. Bottom line, this little girl is still missing. See something. It's a shame. It really is. She has been missing since June 3rd, 2023. The pastor of Ferguson has been looking for her. Her school has been looking for her. She is a Black female. Her height is 5 foot. She weighs 120 pounds. She has black dreadlocks, brown eyes. If you have any information or you know her whereabouts, please contact the police. She is anonymous, so that's very good. So everybody should be talking about this little girl. Okay? You all should be sharing her photo. All of you should be sharing this little girl's photo. We're going to play a news report, and then we're going to go.
It's been 252 days since Lori Paige went missing in Tallahassee.
It's time. It is time to go ahead and bring this to a conclusion.
I'm Terry Gilliam in the Northwest Tallahassee neighborhood. Now search efforts continue and neighbors in this community are trying to find answers they've been looking for.
8 months after 12-year-old Lori Paige's disappearance, members in the community are still looking for any clues to find her. Pastor Rudy Ferguson, teachers, and law enforcement came together Saturday morning to go door to door to see if anybody in the community has seen or heard anything new. Paige was last seen in the 2100 block of Continental Court on June 3rd, 2023. I spoke with Pastor Ferguson during Saturday's search. I asked him why now after all this time.
We decided that it's important that social media is not enough. Talking to people on the telephones is not enough. We need to get out and actively search for her. We must be the gatekeepers of Tallahassee. We must be the gatekeepers of our community.
I checked with Pastor Ferguson Saturday afternoon. No new developments have surfaced, but this team say they're not giving up.
Pastor Ferguson and others tell me that this is the direction they want to go and hope the mystery is solved to Paige's disappearance. In Northwest Tallahassee, Terry Gilliam, ABC 27.
And if you see her or you hear her or you know anything, please call 911. Thank you.